So we just take that deep breath. We take that deep breath, which connects us to the God within, to the spirit that is the essence and the presence of who we are, because there is spirit and nothing else. It is all there is in every moment, and we know it to be that essence, that presence, that force of love, of truth, of peace, of joy, of wisdom, of every good quality that we can possibly call forth and name, and so much more that we can't. But we know that it is only good, that it is only love. And we know that we are here to be its representation, its expression on earth. And so today I call forth that we each remain mindful of being that expression of love, of peace, of kindness, of oneness. Knowing that as we look into the face of each and every living being on this planet, that we are looking at the face of God. No matter their skin color, no matter their ethnicity, their cultural background, no matter their political ideologies, their gender expression, their sexual orientation, no matter how they choose to express, we are always looking in the face of God. And that is what we choose to see and to draw forth from ourselves and one another. I know that this morning is, as always, blessed, because this morning is lived as an expression of the one, as the one. I know that Reverend Leah's message is exactly what ears need to hear, what hearts need to understand for healing and for upliftment, and that we are spurred into acting in ever and ever more loving ways toward ourselves and one another because of it. I'm so grateful for Reverend Lea, for her consciousness, for the musicians and the beautiful music that they bring to uplift and inspire us. I'm so grateful for Brooke and Erica and the practitioners who come to run this service and make it available for all of us to partake in together. So that we know that we are not alone on this planet, that we are not alone in this human experience, and that we have people that we can turn to find the light toward our best expression of God on earth. And so with such deep gratitude for all of this and more, I just say, and so it is. Amen.
Morning, everybody. This is one of Karen Drucker's prayerful songs. It's called I Will Surrender. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free. As I continue walking in this mystery, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am grateful every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I'm kinder every moment, every day, and I'm more loving every moment, every day, and I'll surrender every moment, every day.
Beautiful song, Jimmy. Great Karen Drucker song. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Wonderful to be with you. Let's harmonize our hearts and our minds as we do every week, placing our hands over our hearts, taking a deep breath. Let's say together, care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. One of my favorite things to do is to be at the airport and watch people greet each other in baggage claim with big hugs as they greet their loved ones. Their arms are outstretched as they wait to wrap them around those they love. I love to watch the joy and the love on their faces as they exchange the love between each other and as they embrace each other. If I could sit there for hours, I would, but after a while, I think I'd feel a little creepy, and probably the security would likely ask me to leave. Today's talk is about opening our arms and all the ways in which we do this, including the moments that we resist it. Opening our arms could mean a number of things: love, surrender, letting go, but it can also mean receiving, taking in the beauty that is around us. Have you ever held your arms out towards the sky during a snowstorm or a rainstorm? It instantly brings a smile to our face. Why is that? Because it gives us a feeling of freedom and openness and connection. Our arms are open wide as we feel the joy of opening our heart and connecting to nature. and to the divine that's all around us. What happens physically when we do this, when we open our arms? So let's all do this right now, wherever you are. Careful not to hit the person next to you if you're sitting on a couch with your family. But open your arms. Just open them wide. And pay attention to what you notice. How does your chest feel? How does your body feel? You should be able to feel your chest opening. As we do this, our heart opens as well. And now cross your arms. And notice what that feels like. And now try to share the love that is within your heart with your arms crossed. It's hard to do, isn't it? Not impossible, but pretty close to impossible. Because we've now put up a barrier. There's an energy that extends out from our heart. It wants to be expressed. It's just who we are. We communicate a lot with our heart energy, more than we realize. According to the HeartMath Institute, the heart is the most powerful source of electromagnetic energy in the human body, producing the largest rhythmic electromagnetic field of any of the body's organs. The magnetic field produced by the heart is more than 100 times greater in strength than the field generated by the brain. And it can be detected up to 3 feet from the body. And they discovered that people can actually feel this. We can feel that from the people that are around us. They've used sophisticated equipment to measure this. So when our arms are open and we're sending out rays of love to those around us, whether we are aware of it or not, it is happening. Opening our arms, though, is also about receiving as much as it is about giving. This shows up when we hug someone. When we hug someone, we're giving love, but we're also receiving love in return. Many of us give and we give and we give. We give of ourselves even when it's done in love. And it takes a lot of energy to keep giving on a regular basis. Taking care of a sick loved one, a child, a parent. We give because we love, but we need love too. There's nothing more powerful and more profound than opening our heart to receive the love of the divine. So open your arms again. And now imagine that the divine creator of all that is giving to you that which you most need right now. And just receive. Open your arms to receive. What quality would you like to receive from the divine in this moment? Is it joy, peace, acceptance, compassion? Repeat after me. I invite into my heart the quality of peace. I invite into my heart the quality of joy. I invite into my heart the quality of love. And so whatever quality you would like to invite into your heart right now, imagine it coming into your heart and blessing you. Blessing your entire being. We can ask the divine to pour into us that which we most want to experience right now, particularly in times of stress and upset. It's always available to us. Many of us felt the pain of what we witnessed this week when 8 people were killed in Atlanta, 6 of the women being Asian American Pacific Islander. Although the investigation is still unfolding, we can absolutely recognize the hate that was present in these murders. The number of Asian hate crimes that have taken place since the pandemic is startling. There's been a 150% rise in hate crimes against Asian American Pacific Islanders and more than 3,800 incidents just in this last year. Our hearts open as we feel for those who have been killed and harmed due to hate, and for the families who are mourning their loss. Reverend Masando Hiroka wrote a beautiful message in prayer in support of the Asian Pacific Islander communities. He said this: We hold a space for the collective healing that is being called forth from each one of us in this sacred time we are sharing on the planet together, allowing our hearts to build bridges of understanding, of greater awareness, and of the mending of all our relations. We know this work is God's work, and so take refuge in remembering that this healing is being supported by a power greater than ourselves. With each breath, with each tear, with each rush of anger or swirl of confusion, we rest in the knowing that healing is happening within us and around us. And as we rest into that space where grief, healing, and coming together can all take place at once, we give thanks for the heartbreaking that eventually settles into heart opening. We give thanks for the ways in which our hearts are able to be moved and moved into an active inspiration to stand for one another. As Reverend Masondo so beautifully said, we give thanks for the heartbreaking that eventually leads to heart opening. Sometimes our hearts break and we can't open our arms to embrace another or open our hearts to share love. We need time to heal. We can do it for the victims or for those who are hurting, but what about the perpetrators? Aren't they hurting as well? No one can cause harm to another unless they are filled with pain and anguish themselves. Are we willing to open our arms and hearts for them? For they need our love just as much as anyone else. We are aware enough to know when we have shut someone out of our lives, someone we have crossed our arms to. Who in your life have you shut out? Is there someone in your life or in the world that you want to open your arms to, but you can feel the resistance within you? We need to also open our arms to ourselves, to those parts of ourselves that have shut down, that are unable right now to open up to another. It's important that we share some of that love with ourselves as we move through the many challenges of life, doing the best that we possibly can. I had the privilege of interviewing Neil Donald Walsch earlier this week about his new book, The God Solution, The Power of Pure Love. He talked about the essence of who we are as being wholly human, and that we demonstrate this whenever we love others, even when they're not reflecting their own wholeness, even when they are showing a side of themselves that is anything but lovable. He shared the story of Pope John Paul II, who was shot 6 times at close range, and how he forgave his assailant. And not only that, but he visited him in prison and he blessed him. They actually became pen pals. The Pope opened his arms fully to this man despite his actions. He treated him as God would. Neil Donald Walsch said in our interview that God will never forgive us for anything because there is nothing to forgive us for. In truth, we haven't done anything wrong, and that is true for all of us. God understands how it can come to pass that we can do even the worst of things we have done to each other because God sees us as children, and children make mistakes. He went on to say that understanding replaces forgiveness in the eyes of the master. It doesn't mean we condone it or agree with it, but it means we try to understand why they did what they did. And he said that we can do that by asking the question, what hurts you so bad that you feel you need to hurt me in order to heal it? Another way of saying it, what do you love so much that you feel you need to hurt me in order to protect it? If we could ask this question of those who've deliberately caused harm to others, such as the man this week who killed 8 people, if we could ask him such a question, it would help us to understand why he did what he did, not to condone it, but to understand it. This is the pure love that Neil Donald Walsch talks about in his book, and he defines it as unconditional, unlimited, uncomplicated, unreserved, and unambiguous, wanting and needing nothing in return, giving simply for the sake and the joy of being expressed. And he says that if we claim pure love for ourselves and could really see ourselves and others in this way, no matter what situation is in front of us, we can then ask the question, if I am pure love, what would I think, say, or do right now? Just by asking the question, our heart opens. Can you feel that? It opens with understanding and compassion and replaces judgment and punishment. Now, I'm not saying that someone doesn't deserve to go to prison for certain actions, but what it does is it breaks down the wall that we have put up between us and them. And as a result, our arms open and our hearts soften. Every person on this planet is divinity in form. Everyone deserves to be loved. But sometimes in order to open our heart and our arms to another, we have to release what is standing in the way of that. As we release and let go, we are then ready to open ourselves to give and receive with arms wide open. So if you're comfortable right now, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and repeat silently to yourself the beautiful words by a wonderful healer and teacher named Jared Hewitt. I release separation. I release at all levels wanting to be separate from God, from myself, from the world. I release the trappings of my mind, of my spirit, of my body, of my soul. I release fear. I release judgment. I release polarity. I release lack. I release the blocks and resistance to being connected at every level. I release everything. And as I do, I become all things. And as I release, I am able to move into the pure, open heart of Source. Such beautiful and powerful words spoken by Jared. As we open our arms and heart, we let go and we surrender. Opening our arms requires courage and vulnerability. It is showing our vulnerable underbelly to the world. And so we may not choose to show this to all, but in the quiet sanctuary of our home, in a moment of silence, we can let go and we can open ourselves. Mark Nepo said, "No bird can fly without opening its wings, and no one can love without exposing their hearts." We can open our arms and feel the release that is there, the feeling of surrender and trust that's there, and our connection to Spirit. Let's this moment decide to let go and allow Spirit to flow through each of us, healing our hearts from all pain, healing our heart from all the moments when we shielded ourselves from life and created a barrier around our heart. Let us let go and allow the divine to open our heart and to receive the love that is waiting there for each one of us. For the love of Spirit wants to pour into us. As we open our arms, we feel the gentle embrace of the divine Creator comforting us and loving us. Rumi said, "Open your arms if you want the beloved's embrace." If you're sitting in a room right now with your family or those that are dear to you, I invite you to take the hands of them on either side of you. If you're alone, imagine holding the hands of someone on either side, people you deeply love. As you reach out to hold their hands, notice that your chest automatically opens. Our heart has a direct connection to our hands. The energy from our heart flows down our arms and into our hands and into the hands of the person that we are holding hands with. It then travels up their hands into their heart. We give with our right and we receive with our left. So imagine receiving divine healing energy through your left hand and see it traveling up through your arm into your chest and then flow down your right arm, and share that with someone dear to you in your life, whether it's the person sitting next to you right now or someone who really needs this heart energy right now. And feel the love that is there. Feel the joy that is there. Feel the healing energy that is there as you open yourself fully. And now imagine sharing the energy within your heart with all beings. For the world needs us right now. May we open our arms and our hearts to all. And may we see those who have caused harm with understanding and compassion. For we are all on this journey together. I'm going to close with a beautiful passage by Neale Donald Walsch. Take this in as the truth of who you are and open yourself to receive it fully. You are goodness and mercy and compassion and understanding. You are peace and joy and light. You are forgiveness and patience, strength and courage. A helper in time of injury, a teacher in time of confusion. You are the deepest wisdom and the highest truth, the greatest peace and the grandest love. You are these things. Choose now to know yourself as these things always. Let's pray. And so as we take a breath, we feel into our hearts an opening occurring. An opening within our hearts and an opening as we extend our arms out. We embrace all. We embrace ourselves as we move through this life, taking one step at a time, moving through the challenges of life. We open our arms to those who are in pain. We open our arms to those who are suffering. We open our arms to the perpetrators of the world, knowing that they are transforming hate into love. We open our arms to the entire race. We open our arms to the entire planet. And we recognize that we are one with all. We recognize that the love that is within us is also the same love that is within and vibrating through every single person on this planet. And so I am knowing that this love that is within us carries us through this day and in the days and weeks ahead, supporting us, surrounding us, holding us as we move through life. I am knowing that we remember this moment of connection. We remember this heart-centered moment, that we remember to open our arms. And the next time it rains or snows, that we go out and we reach up to the sky. We open our arms wide and we feel the love and the presence of the divine that is in the beauty that is all around us. Letting go of barriers, letting go of walls. Releasing that which no longer serves us so that we can receive and we can give fully to the world. And so with that, I give such great thanks for all that is unfolding within each of our souls. And with that, I let it go. I allow it to be. I hand it over to the divine creator of all that is, that always says yes. And with that, we simply say, and so it is. Amen.